And hello, good morning after everyone. Good to see you. Paul Traney here. I'm going to dive into today's master class all about type manipulation. So hello. Just typing hello and good to have you here. Afroja, EAI Design, Susan Holt. Awesome. Afternoon all. Let's go ahead and get this party started. If you don't mind, because we are talking about manipulating type in Illustrator. So anyways, we're going to have fun. Just so you know, you can kind of search and get inspiration on Behance. We can even dive into typography. So you can just see some fun examples of manipulating type. And this is just typography, but you do see it. Fun stuff manipulating type. So the most used tool in Illustrator. So we're going to have fun. And I'm glad you guys are here. So yeah. Let's get this party started. Everything looks good, looks good, looks good. All right. Let's do it. So let's switch over to, yeah, I just like this stuff. Like, this is a great design. I just like it. I really like this long text. I do want to do something like this, by the way. And you'll see all of my various examples right in here. So here I am in good old Illustrator, right? Just some ideas. We're going to have some fun with these various words, right? So we have smooth, right? I'd love to make this look smooth, right? So taking clues, we don't really ever like distort type just to distort type. We want to do things with a purpose. You know, that's the whole goal. So, yeah, that's kind of what I want to do with this. By default, just so you know, I'm going to point out really fast, if you go down to type into your character styles. So you could change this. This is your default character style. I modify this usually. So if you double click, you can see that this is basically Acumen variable concept. So this is the font I usually have. I can change it to white or black. But I can change this default. We'll actually change the default to white. But you could always modify this and save the document and either as a template, and you could always do new from template. And there's some other tricks there. But just so you know, that's kind of where that's coming from. I like this variable concept font because I can roll in and just like do all this fun stuff. You know, the width, the slant, the weight. This is just one of the examples. All right. So yes, let me just click over and make sure I can read chat. How about that idea? Good morning, all. So I'm kind of just talking about fonts initially. Also with this, I have Crisis. Crisis is one of mine. Come on now. Okay, fine. Oh, I have filters turned on. Clear all. Climate Crisis. So Climate Crisis has this slider. I've shown it to you guys, you know, before, but, you know, just with the, you know, polar ice caps melting and global warming. That's what this is all about. You know, starting out on a real positive note today, but 1979, it's melting, it's melting, it's melting, it's melting to 2050. So it's called Climate Crisis. This is a variable concept font. And I just think that they're kind of cool, right? They made all of these fonts, so there's no effect or anything. So, you know, even if I selected this drop down, I think, kind of doesn't show, but Acumen does. So anyways, there's a ton out there. You can actually find a website, variable fonts. It's like V fonts. V fonts. This is at least my resource for finding those. So right in here, this hex Franklin variable has a lot of those sliders. So this is kind of fun to check out and jump out. Some are free. Looks like this one's on GitHub and has all these controls. Wow, look at that. Like, I don't even know what half this stuff is, but look at the amount of control you have with this Roboto Flex. So anyway, pimp it. Ooh, this is fun. Let's see what happens. Ooh, pimp it, baby. Isn't this cool? Yeah, so these are really fun. So it does say the licensing too. So some of them are paid, you know, and some are free. Ooh. Anyways, you guys get the idea. Have fun with that. That's VFonts. I'll actually just, you know, you guys can also just read with your eyes, but I'm gonna try to paste it into chat if the gods will let me. There you go. Boom, shaboom. Bliss is in the house. All right, so let's get back to, we've been inspired. We know about fonts. We can go get some more fonts. This is going to be important for me because I actually want to go beyond climate crisis. I want to get into sort of a sans serif that's very tall at least, and just roll through some of these. And I actually want it to be all caps. So let's jump in. Let's select all caps here and find the most vertical font possible is my goal. Like this one. Ooh, this extra condensed. That one actually works. Smooth. I don't know, something like this might work. I'm not crazy about the M. That's the only problem I have with this. Let's even change. Let's just change this. Let's make this. We'll simplify this. H-E-L-L-O. There we go. Taking this. And I love this technique. What people have been doing a lot with fonts is manipulating it. Before I manipulate this too much, I'm going to make another version right over here. And anytime you just want to have a fun hello, maybe we want to have a fun hello. So let's do that really quick. Let me jump in here. Let's create a fun hello by clearing all that stuff. Getting into something decorative and just good times. We're looking for something that's just good times. That has a lot of rounded elements. Maybe this one. Curandera. I'm just seeing what I have in here. Bear with me. One moment. Oh, this one's fun. All right. Just checking out all these fonts. Oh, I love this one. But yeah, let's just go with this. Just wanted to show you really fast. You know, it's an okay font. Let's go with touch type tool right in here. We'll zoom in on this. With the touch type tool, we could start to move elements around each one of these letters. We can move that down. Let's move this up. Let's change actually the color of this layer since this is on blue. But now you can see I can take this and kind of move this stuff around all I want. We want to tuck this more into the L like that. We could take this, move this, you know, have this at a different angle, and everything's still on the same line, right? So that's the touch type tool, just giving us all this control that we like. And we could still rotate this content. But again, it's all on the same line, which is nice. Let's rotate this one, maybe. Kind of like that. And let's go back to our type tool. You can see, go. Easy enough to do. And ta-da. Let's crank that up a little bit. There we go. We could have some fun with this. Yes, the touch type tool does rock. Also, what rocks is the appearance panel, right? I absolutely love using the appearance panel because we can jump in here and add a new fill. So this fill is always going to be, you know, white. It's always going to be on top of everything else. You can have additional stroke. So this will be like hot pink, and we'll crank this up a lot, right? So we could have this stroke. We could add another stroke underneath that. You know, that's even larger. And we'll change the color of it as well to something even brighter. But you could start to see how you could layer this content, sort of one on top of the next. rather than, I don't know, doing something that's more complex. Just like that. Layer it, layer it, layer it. Let's throw this green in. You get the idea. Does that make sense? So super fun, like playing with this. I could throw like a different gradients on top too. So maybe this fill is a gradient, you know? Not a blue gradient, but something like, not even like that. No, 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 no. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Yeah, so I'm not crazy about these gradients. Actually, this is what I could do. Let's do this. Let's go with white. And let's put another fill on top. And this fill is going to have like a pattern. So we'll zoom in here. We can put like dots in here if we want to. Right? So we just give it this fun pattern by starting to just like make this crazy and layer this on as much as possible. So that's kind of fun. You get the idea. We're just playing and kind of manipulating type and dealing a lot with the appearance panels. That's kind of what I'm showing you. We can even take this word smooth. Let's shrink it down. And let's see. So I could take this. I could add more to this, by the way. I can give this like, it kind of needs a drop shadow. I could add effects in here. Did you know that? Like I can start to really distort and do crazy things by adding effects in here. So any one of these, which is nice. I will just throw a drop shadow in here. Right, so there's our drop shadow. It just kind of sets it off. We'll do 20%. We'll just make it little, that's like more subtle, which I'm into. But now that that's done, I can make this a graphic style. So we'll drop it right in there. Bam. And there's our graphic style that we can reuse anytime we want. It kind of looks like an animal cookie with sprinkles. I get it. Yeah, I definitely would want to do more. Like, I don't know if the black dots really work for this, but that's okay. So we have the word smooth. Let's play with it, shall we? Actually, no, maybe this will still be my example. I have this word hello, but let's just check this out. Let's try some of these other graphic styles. Say boom, different one, different one. This is a 3D one. You ready for this one? Wait for it. Might take a second to load in, right? 'Cause it's kind of big. Chocolate chip ice cream. Okay, so it's struggling with that one. This one looks good, right? Isn't that nice? Right? And you can start to see sort of what this is made of. This one is awesome. Like, we could take a look at how this is offset. I absolutely love this. So this is very smart how this was made. There's an offset path of basically 3 pixels, right? And then there's a transform. And what's smart about this is the transform effect offsets it more, but it makes a copy. So it offsets it 3 more pixels, makes a copy, offsets that one 3 more pixels. So you get this long shadow that just works, right? Isn't that nice? And you do it in one go. So if I wanted to make this from scratch, which we could do that, bam, bam. All editable still. Yes. We will reduce this to basic appearance. You want to get rid of all that stuff, just reduce it back to the basic appearance. Here's just a, simple gradient. So yeah, we could add a new fill. First off, this fill on top is going to be white. We're going to give it that long shadow. So you have this fill and offset path. 3 pixels. Okay, let's actually just like compare it with the original. Yeah, same thing, right? So I just added that. I don't even Yeah, let's go beyond that. So right in here, this is the magic. Going into distort and transform, right? This is the best effect you could ever use. But right in here, you know, 3 pixels. See how it does that offset. We'll do 20 copies. Boom, just like that. Now we have 20 copies of that. If you do see some banding in here, I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's a little bit of banding in here. You know, all you need to do is tighten that up, like maybe 1 pixel, right? And 30, right? But you just have that control when doing this. Ooh, now I'm just screwing with the angle. Oh yes, ring, ring, that's fun. So yeah, it's still like distorting it accordingly. But yeah, it's this offset right here. If we want to make this more vertical, we could do 1.5, right? And it's going to stand it up more, right? We could do -1. You get the idea. So it's just creating those long shadows, as you can see, pretty easily. Boom, boom, boom. Anything else we need to do? I watched this tutorial on drop shadows recently. The guy used 9 drop shadows and then another 9 on a group. So that's cool, but like a drop shadow is an effect, and it's gonna have to render that, and I feel like that's like a lot to like render. Like that's a lot. It was probably cool, but like that's a lot to render. I just like this, being able to like control this any way we want. This is kind of cool. So yeah, you get the idea. Another way to do this, because what you're doing is you're simulating 3D. Yeah, so you agree with me. Okay, cool. Yeah, like, yeah, it seemed like a lot. So we could do this. We could always actually reduce to basic appearance. So it's back to where it was before at the very beginning with white. Because what did we essentially do here? We tried to make something that is 3D. And we know we could do that as well, of course. 3D in materials, extrude and bevel, right? Take that text, extrude it, do all those fun things. Yeah, I'm not a big, yeah, Frank, do you agree? Like the processing for that is just kind of a lot, kind of hard on your machine. I think it's okay to do it like in subtle ways. And I've always said, like, I will judge somebody based on how they use a drop shadow. I will judge you. If you're doing more than 50% opacity, I'm like, oh, buddy, what are you doing, kid? What are you doing? Is it the 80s called? The 90s called? The internet was just invented. Congratulations, you just discovered the drop shadow. But yes, obviously, like here is the 3D and materials panel. Ba-bow, you know, and we could do isometric. And then start to adjust the lighting too. So we could throw some more lighting on it. And you get that sort of similar look with, you know, all the control you expect when it comes to 3D. So that's also fun, right? So just different approaches. One's cleaner, maybe one's more dynamic. What's nice about this one actually is, you know, let's actually grab this line. Let's move it like that. Let's extend it, extend the depth out a lot, like so. And then we'll play with the perspective. So we'll drag that perspective up. And this is what's nice about using 3D is you actually have this ability to give it this dynamic look as opposed to this. This offset is always going to be isometric, and you can't do this cool perspective stuff, which again is just cool, right? We like it. We can take down the ambient light, right? And we can have that, you know, as strong or as simple as we want, right? You into it, and it's all editable. So that was the goal of this. You get the idea. Shadow shaming. Are we shadow shaming? That's messed up. Why? Let people live their lives, man. If you want to put 20 drop shadows on a thing, do it. Who am I? I don't know. Okay, let me show you something else when it comes to like resizing this content. Like we had this situation with one of these. Let me duplicate this one really fast. Zip. This one right here. And this is what will happen with these graphic styles. like all of these strokes and fills, mainly the strokes, there could be like 20 strokes on this, right? And, you know, and even the dots, you want them to be more intense. You want to shrink down this style. How do you shrink down this style? How would you do that? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm glad you asked. I actually did not discover this till recently, and I'm embarrassed about it. But you know what? That's Illustrator for you. You're like always discovering things. Because right over here in the properties panel, there's this checkbox, scale strokes and effects and scale corners. You could turn those off. So don't scale the strokes and effects for this text. Don't scale it. Just scale up the type. Watch what happens. Zoop. So I can kind of visually how thick or how thin I want these lines just by scaling it up. Like this is what I want that effect to look like. It's like this. Perfect. Then I could go back in here, check those boxes, and then shrink it back down. Right? And now we've essentially shrunk all of the everything in the appearance panel very easily. So I think that's kind of nice. How do you shrink down this style, Paul? Sean, did you just set me up? Is that what's just happening? Are you setting me up for success? So anyways, boy, you know, sometimes, you know, you tend to make, I'm really embarrassed with this. Boy, oh boy, that is embarrassing. And what did I do? I saved it over here. That's embarrassing. All right, so we're into this type. And we'll just click through a couple of these other ones, by the way, just to kind of check them out and just to show you what you can do with the appearance panel. So graphic styles is directly linked to appearance. So let's select this one. Let's go with, I don't know why this one is not. Oh, there we go. So there we go. This one is cool too. More effects of warping, right? And then blurring. So we'll turn off. And there's a lot of effects on here. That's why this one might have been working slow earlier. But you could see there's some distortion on this fill, right? Oh, here's the pink one. Since the pink one's kind of standing out a little bit more, it's a little easier to see. We could take a look at that one. So it's doing a warp. It's doing the radial blur. That's how we get that blurriness. And then you can see the transform as well, which is just adjusting. So it's just some fun manipulations to make this sort of trippy look, which I'm into. Yeah, I agree. And it's all editable, which is cool. Let's take a look at this one over here real fast. Boom. Boom. Let's just click through them. Fun. So I've just gathered these like over the years, by the way. I wish I knew where I got them all. I don't remember. But you could find these anywhere. You could find these, I think, if you go out to Brush Easy. Let's check it. I could be wrong. Styles. Vect Easy. Let's go Vect Easy. There we are. Vect Easy. Let's try this as well. Search for vectors. We want styles though. That's the thing. So anyways, you know, sorry I don't have this like at the ready, but those are two places where I've found some of these. So yeah, they're there. Okay, let's click through some more of these just for fun. Boom, boom, boom. Right? Some of these would work for some of these other words like rad. Gunship. We'll change the font. Fantastic. And still here, notice how the font like really matters. Like these are going to look better when they're thicker, right? You start to see like more of that detail in there, which I think is awesome. Fantastic. 5. Why not? Never do marketing based around a number, like thousands of viewers, because somebody's going to come along and they're going to have tens of thousands. That's my personal opinion. Boom. Duplicate it. Change it. So this one, this is why it was like important that I kind of went over how this was built out, because you know, you're gonna have to learn how to modify this stuff. Like right here, this we just need to take that down a little bit. It just needs a soft curve, like so. And there's the fantastic 5. Boom. And we still know that trick, because again, we could always look over at our properties panel and notice how it's scaling down the strokes and effects. I don't want it to. Don't scale them down. Shrink it down. So now everything is going to get thicker. It's just going to be cooler when it's thicker, right? So now that it's thicker, we will turn this back on. And we'll scale it up. Zip. I don't know, just kind of playing around, right? Doesn't it? It looks better with everything scaled up. You're going to go with a larger number in this case. Okay, not the right color in the background. That's something also that I would fix. We need to go with like an orange or something. And even this, we could talk about so many things. Because here's a situation where like, okay, this color does not match. Definitely doesn't. Like this pink, I don't know. We could change either one of these. But if we do want it to match, rather than going through all of this stuff, how much work would that be going through this? I would just jump in and do a recolor artwork. Or you could adjust the color balance. So that's where you do it. You could jump in here. Notice how we can increase or decrease the red. Or let's turn on preview, which I just think should just be turned on by default. But, you know, is this going to work? You know, kind of shift it into more of that family we wanted in, right? Like that. We could do that, right? The other way I was going to suggest is go into recolor artwork, right? And then you have everything like so. And then you can like tweak it this way. Oh, I think this is working. Like kind of more, maybe more on that side. I don't know, just playing around. Just playing around. Let's just like add a cool burst in the background. Zoop. Oh, this is another thing that's happening. You ready for this? General Kenobi and everyone. They could be from Astute Graphics. They have a few packs, that are similar. Awesome. Oh, that's cool. So I feel like when you're working with type or creating any sort of like type lockup, like that's kind of what you're doing is you're creating a type lockup. You kind of need to ground elements. Everything is kind of sometimes floating around. So you might have a tendency to like put a circle behind it or some sort of shape, which is totally legit, just so you know. Maybe in this case, let's do this. Did you going to do an invert of colors? Bingo. Invert that. That text pops off more. And then we'll still jump in and we'll do a recolor artwork and shift the colors back to the opposite side, right? So we're kind of within that same color family, right? So that's all I'm doing there. Just playing with color. Cool. I don't know. It looks like some kid's show, doesn't it? Definitely looks like a kid's show. All right. Cool. Fantastic 5. I want to have some more. I still want to play with all these other options right in here. Played with all this. Let me see if there's anything else here I want to like play with. I mean, yes, I want to play with all this stuff. Gunship? Does anybody know Gunship? Does anybody know the band Gunship? They do like funky 80s synth type music, and it's the coolest stuff ever. I just love it. Gunship. Give Gunship a listen. Their videos are amazing. I think Alfran is more, or even Amboy Inline would be a good font. This does get obviously a little bit difficult since I have all these effects on this. You know, it's going to take a while. I don't know who put this together, but yeah, this needs help. There we go. Yeah. Okay. It's okay. All right. Let's steal our hello. We have our word smooth. Let's sample that. There we go. Let's take this and let's start to just kind of distort this text. I think a couple trends that have been happening lately. Bobby Orlando, hello. But love the 80s, thanks. Yes, Bobby, check them out. They're so good. They're just awesome. I think it's basically one guy. Oh, General Kenobi has awesome. Okay, so let's just kind of talk about some design trends when it comes to type and distorting type. And yes, I am going to create outlines for this one, right? We haven't this whole time, so we've done a great job. 30 minutes in, and we're just getting now to distorting type. There's a lot, like a current trend is to take fonts like this one. And you'll see a lot of this stretching. So we'll do like a horizontal stretching of this text, for instance, like that. The O gets a little more tricky. I'd probably take these two O's. I would, actually I just need one O really. Like that. Let's do that. Like that. I don't know if I have snapping turned on. There we go. Yep. We'll get it smoothed out, everyone. Not to worry. Right, I'm just kind of rushing through this. But I know these little parts are going to be a problem. Boom. Get rid of you. Get rid of you guys. Get out of here. We don't need ya. We don't need ya. Anywho, so basically if I would have taken this and stretched it, I'm missing 2 points, all this stuff. Let's not worry about it. Zoop. Flip it. Like that. Connect it. I don't know, like that. Offline. Let's do oh, I should do online for this one. Let's have some fun with this one. We're going to get even more, a little bit more detailed. Still, create outlines. And EA Design, thank you so much. Afrosia, how's it going? Thank you. Marcus from Cologne, good to have you here. Awesome. Okay, so, ooh, I hate this N. This N is a problem. Okay, so let's just find something else. Online. I'm being careful with N's, M's, and V's. There's 2 N's in here. We got to go find another font. And if you're ever having an issue with finding a font, mainly the N I don't want any diagonal lines is what I'm looking for. There is a way around that. But hey, we could always jump out too, which is so much easier to go to Adobe Fonts. All fonts. And right over here, all these lovely tags. So if you want to go beyond sort of using the basic sorting features with, you know, with fonts in Illustrator, I would jump out here because I want something very clean. Oh, clean is right here. We have some inline stuff, which will be cool. Shaded, but isn't this awesome? This is so nice. Ooh, geometric. That's what I want. I want geometric. So let's see what we get if we go into geometric. And let's type in online. There we go. Let's see what we got. See what we got. I'm looking for a specific N. That one would almost work. Boy, I don't think geometric is the correct category. Futuristic. Switching it up. Yeah, like this. 10B. We want 10B5 regular. All right, anyways, just kind of showing you those sorting abilities, which are like super helpful. Helping you find what you want. I think I found what I want. You know, that one's cool. It's so overdone. Uniwars, that's cool too. Tycon. Let's try Tycon too. Bingo. Anyways. Clear that. Hardest part about this is just, oh, tachyon. There we go. Is remembering the name of the font. So we'll jump in here. There it is. Bingo. Yeah, so anyways, there's this font that I was just going to stretch and distort and do all sorts of fun things with. All right. You get the idea. This one has a better O to work with. So the whole idea of something being online is the fact that everything is like, you know, connecting, right? So that's what we're doing with this. Just making all this stuff like connect. And maybe this goes off into the distance. Let's ungroup this. Take this. And yeah, we just go with a simple gradient. Wait for it. Wait for it. Bam. Bam. There we go. There we have it. Let's add it right in here. Boom. There we are. Done. You get the idea. Yeah? Yeah. Yep. You know, just throwing in some gradients in there. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's very, again, it's very 90s, right? It's so 90s. But, you know, how much can you distort a font and still keep it legible is the big question. And, you know, the main rule to follow is to make sure the first and last letter are legible, right? So that's just important. Otherwise, it would almost read like if this was somehow obscured, it reads like 9, not online. So try to not screw with the first and last letter too much. Why? Hey, why not? We could have some fun in here. Let's actually take the word why. And this one we want to be fun, but we're gonna start with just a simple thin text. So we need something very thin. Still going into my variable concept font. Like that. Oh yeah. We could do why not? Let's do why not. There we go. Boom, boom. Drop it in. Drop it in. This does take a little bit more time. Bring it back. Bring back. We'll make it a little bit thicker because it was really hard to see. But here's where I just kind of want to keep the structure of this. Oops. Like so. There we go. So just make these different shapes. That's all I'm doing right now. This one, let's take out this piece, some of that, flip it. Right, you get the idea. So all I was going to do there is reduce this down to like 1 stroke, because now that gets us the ability to jump into our brushes, right? And just take any one of these brushes and start to use them. Let's see which fun ones we have. Hello, let's take this down a lot. This brush is massive. Let's take this in. If your brushes are too big, you can jump into the brush options. We're going to take this down to 10%. Okay? Apply to strokes. There we go. Now this is better. Right? Now we get sort of that bendy flowiness, all that. I don't know. Is this the right color? Am I crazy about the background color? No. Let's change that background color too. There we go. Something more fun. Yeah, why not? Some of the stuff is getting a little funky right in here. Let's remove that point. Bingo. Bingo. Bango. Shabam. 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 All right, that's all. Just kind of started with the original font. I don't even know if that was that good of an idea, right? Because this shape did not turn out that great. And I'm kind of bummed about that. A lot of time you get these overshoots. Let's take a look at that. Ungroup. Yeah, that's so interesting. This one's getting a little crazy. So yeah, we could try another one of these. Let's still drop this down to 10%. Click OK. There we are. Apply to strokes. We could try some of these other designs. Maybe this text is just too small. Yep. Let's make this bigger. We'll make sure we're not scaling. Don't scale the strokes and effects. Scaling up this text. Hey, let's move it over here. Let's put this on white. There we go. And boy, is this getting stretched out a lot. Look at that. So this one is just getting a little weird, but that's okay. Because we could bend this any way we want. Let's play with this now. Hopefully you guys are joining this. How you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Milka, there's so much to learn with AI. So many cool things you do, but I have already invested so much time learning Photoshop. My melon may be running out of memory. Yeah, happens to the best of us there, buddy. Matthew, I hear ya. You know, it's like, what's the best tool for the job? Objectively or subjectively? You know, subjectively, the best tool for the job is the one you know. So, yeah, don't beat yourself up. You know, I feel for you. Let's do this N. We're just gonna kind of draw these out on top of these current letters. So T, we will just use the pen tool. We'll get the basic structure, kind of like that. Just like so. Cool. We did it. We did the thing. Bam. Hey, why not? Ooh, I got a great idea. You ready for this? Pencil. All right, let's move this over. Checking the time. Oh, good. I have time to do this. Yeah, I always run out of time. I probably still run out of time because is anything ever really finished? Let's go to this other file I was working on. Select this, copy it, come in here. I basically stole a brush, right? It's right here. But let's go ahead, take this text and use this rope on it. Oh yeah, this is so much more fun. How fun is this? Oops. And to have some fun curves in here as well. Zoop. Like that. Zoop. Let's do it down here. Zoop. And we're going to change the color as well. So let's select this. Let's see what we have going on in here. What are you doing, crazy guy? Okay, colorization. We're going to do, let's try a hue shift, right? It changes it to white, right? Because the stroke is white. But I do want to change it to like an orange. Okay, so, or a yellow, or a taupe color. But now let's go in. Let's do tints and shades. There we go. Tints and shades might give us more along the lines of what we want. Let's do it. Tints and shades. Right, so now it's a little bit more like a rope, but we have control over that color now at least. So, you know, we can go maybe a little bit darker, kind of like that. Okay. And we just get to have fun with this, curving all these little corners right here, because we decided to change our text to fit the fact that I had to have a rope. And that's okay. Kind of like that. Yeah. Anybody else here like puns? Is into puns? Little word play. We could start to interweave these, I feel like. This. Oh, we got to fix this T. But yeah, you guys get the idea. We're just playing with these lines now. It's just like a lot of fun. With the T, what do? Let's go to the pen tool. We'll go around like that. Hopefully that looks like a T. And not like a 4. Thoughts, guys? Questions, concerns, irrational fears? I'm just kind of laying this out now because I think this is my favorite design that I've done today. And so I'm just playing with this now. Pulling this stuff through. Just fun to work with. I was going to have this go through here. Which this is going to be very complex. This T needs work. It's the rope from the Y go through the O. Okay, so this is going to get kind of tricky. But this is what I would do. I would take this, copy it, put it on top, and then mask it out. Clipping mask. Right? So now we have this one on top. Right, that you can easily see just like it's kind of popping through there. So you kind of do a layering thing. But yeah, why not? It's working. T needs more work, but you guys get the idea. It's all tweaking it from here, but I'm kind of getting down to my last minute or so. But hopefully you guys appreciated this. Modified this text to kind of fit the theme there, but I think it works. Big thing when, you know, working with a lot of this is sort of scaling strokes and effects and corners. We need to shrink this back down and get it in place right there. And take a look at everything we did today, huh? We're not distorting type just to distort type. We want to like make sure we're like getting a point across, right? And that's kind of where we're at with a lot of this. So hopefully you guys had fun with this. I know I did. Yeah, it was just fun to do. Let's change this color really fast. What color? We need a brown. Something like that. But you get the idea. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I could do this all day long. Can we please? That'd be fun. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Next up, I know Terry has some photography magic that he has going on, so that'll be cool to check out. I think it's going to be some of his top 10 most common photo fixes. I'm into it. Very into it. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Bliss. All that stuff. I love the 80s in general. Yeah, whatever happened to quicksand? That was supposed to be a much bigger deal. Like, what about volcanoes? I was like really into volcanoes too. Like, what's that all about? But yeah. Remember when you used to ask for directions for things? Now you just use your phone. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will see you next time. Thank you for joining me. Stick around for Terry's. Appreciate you guys. Take care. See ya.